It was just pain radiating to every part of my body.
And I'm getting in the saddle, finding out how police are keeping cyclists safe on Manchester's roads.
You're watching Crimewatch Roadshow. Hello and welcome to Crimewatch Roadshow. As always, we need your help to solve the crimes happening where you live. Also today, the opportunist thief who ran a man down with his own car.
Once the paramedics got to the location and put me in the ambulance, that's when I realised what had happened.
And caught on camera, the armed gang that made off with over 16 grand.
So many people on that route on that day. I've got cameras with them. It's unlucky for them, but it's great for us.
Today, Michelle is back in Manchester. What are you up to this morning?
Yeah, we're at the Museum of Transport this morning, Ralph, which is quite apt really, as today we are looking at everything on the move, crime on the move, and later we're going to be out and about with police officers who take to two wheels themselves to try and catch the drivers who are putting cyclists at risk.
Thanks, Michelle. Now to our first appeal, and for a tram driver whose day at work very nearly killed him. Manchester's Metrolink is now the largest light railway in the UK. It covers almost 60 miles with a fleet of close to 100 trams. And driver Sean Vella has been operating Metrolink trams for 2 years.
The main thing I enjoy about it is the challenge of driving a tram and driving it around the city and actually helping Manchester as a whole. Manchester born and bred. The driving the tram, the challenges are maintaining levels of concentration, maintaining the safety of the passengers. I personally feel it's the best job I've ever done. I enjoy it. I look forward to coming into work. Not many people can say that they look forward to coming into the job in the morning.
On May 8th, Sean was working from mid-afternoon and was due to finish soon after midnight.
I was just plodding on, doing what I was doing. It really was just a run-of-the-mill day where I was just getting on, doing my job. Going on, enjoying my break, had a little chat and laugh with the guys that I work with.
By around 9:30 p.m, the end of his shift was in sight.
I was heading to Rochdale for the second time of the day.
The tram left the Durker stop and neared a footbridge which ran over the tracks.
It was dark, it was just past twilight, so it was very, very dark. Hit 50 miles an hour. I didn't actually see anything happen. Just a white flash of the glass exploding out of the windscreen. Every thought in my head escaped my body, really. It was literally the biggest shock I've had in my life.
Shattered glass flew into Sean's face.
The glass went everywhere in the cab. It hit my face.
The huge chunk of stone slammed into the cab and hit Sean in the torso.
I saw a hole in the windscreen and I knew the pain in my chest. I felt like I'd just been pinned to my chair. The impact, and it was just pain radiating to every part of my body.
Adrenaline and training kicked in as Sean activated the driver's safety device to stop the tram and raise the alarm.
The last thing I remember was landing in the glass and hearing the alarm of the driver's safety device activating.
Sean blacked out. A short time later, he came to.
And there was passengers banging on the cab door.
Using all his strength, Sean managed to reach the handle to let passengers in. With help, Sean was able to drive the tram to the next station, where an ambulance was waiting.
The driver could have been killed if that slab had hit him on the head. The tram could have derailed. You know, anything could have happened, really.
Miraculously, Sean suffered no major injuries in this reckless act.
I'd had an impact trauma to my chest and lots of cuts, small, tiny cuts all over my face. Could have been worse. If that rock was 12 inches higher, it would have been impacting my face. It would have been a totally different story. It's very lucky it's good.
Although his recovery is going well, Sean is still getting over the trauma caused by the crash.
Physically, I feel beaten. I'm just constantly sore, not sleeping well. Psychologically, there's quite a lot of fear. Just nervousness, general nervousness, certain things I don't feel ready to do yet. I don't feel comfortable going into a drowned cow at the moment in time. This person who's injured me is taking a choice out of my life.
It's just shocking, isn't it? And Inspector Cecilia Oakley from Greater Manchester Police's Travel Safe Unit joins me now. We saw in the film there just what a frightening experience it must have been for Sean. Not only that, it could have been a lot worse, couldn't it?
Absolutely. When you look at the size of the slab that's gone through the window and the height that it was thrown from, potentially it could have hit him on the head and caused serious injuries or a fatality. You know, and whoever did this, you know, they're probably not aware of the consequences and the seriousness of the offence.
That's it. And as you said, it's lucky that he was wearing glasses.
Yeah, he did have glasses on, so when the window smashed, his eyes were protected, you know, from the shards of glass from the window.
Where exactly did this happen, Cecilia?
It happened at Durka in Oldham, over the top of the footbridge, which is in a quiet area of Oldham. Plenty of stones around, you know, and children play in that area as well.
Now, on the positive side, there have been proactive steps that have been put in place to make our trams and buses safer.
Yes, in the aftermath of the incident, there was high visibility patrols in the area, and since then we've recruited up to 50 PCSOs on the Travel Safe Unit, and they'll be doing proactive work on trams and buses, reassurance, and dealing with any incidents of antisocial behaviour on the trams and buses.
That is really good to hear. Cecilia, thank you very much. If you do have any information on this case, you know what to do. You can get in touch with us using the numbers on your screen.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, it really was a reckless thing to do. And a reminder that victims of any crime can speak to victim support. They're on 0808 1689 111. Next up, do you recognise any of today's criminals caught on CCTV? And just so you know, these are pretty serious.
It's mid-morning on this busy street in Luton. Pay close attention to this bloke getting out of the parked car in the right-hand corner of the screen. He hangs around for quite some time, but what's he waiting for? A while later, a dark-coloured vehicle pulls up and a man gets out. The bloke waiting spots him and makes sure he catches his attention before heading over to engage him in conversation. All seems friendly, but out of nowhere, the bloke throws a liquid into the man's face, who panics and runs off. The attacker sprints to his car and makes his getaway at speed. Police would like to speak to this man, captured on CCTV earlier that morning in a nearby shop, asking when the victim would arrive. The victim suffered minor scarring from the industrial fluid used, and this vicious and premeditated attack has greatly affected him. Now police need your help to catch his cowardly attacker.
It's the night shift at a garage in Staffordshire, and things are about to get a little hectic. Keep an eye on these hooded men making their way inside. They aren't here to pay for petrol, but they definitely want to fuel up on something. One of them threatens the shop assistant with bolt cutters, demanding he hand over the takings. Another impatient robber jumps over the counter and viciously punches him in the face. Eventually the cash drawers are unlocked and they help themselves, which is when we see the third sidekick come along. This one decides to act as a lookout, but when a customer tries to leave, he gets aggressive and lashes out, throwing punches, before eventually letting the guy go. When the cash drawers are empty, the next stop is the cigarette cabinet. And now we see the fourth robber. He whisks away their box of spoils, while the other one clutches as many scratch cards as he can. Neither of the victims were badly injured, but police need to find the four men who stole over £2,000 worth of goods. If you know who they are, you know what to do. If you can identify anyone, we need to hear from you now. Remember, calls are free. You can also text us on 63399. Text CW space and then your message. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. Or send us an email. There's the address. It's cwr@bbc.co.uk. Or you can speak to Crime Stoppers anonymously. They're on 0800 555 111. Michelle.
Millions of us take to our bikes every week, and Greater Manchester Police are determined to do everything they can to help keep cyclists safe.
Last year, 3.5 million miles were cycled in the UK, and in Manchester, more people than ever are taking to two wheels. But when cars and bikes share the road, things can go wrong. The latest figures for the city show there were over 400 cyclists injured in road accidents in 1 year, and 3 fatalities. Sharing the road responsibly has never been so important. To tackle the problem, Greater Manchester Police have launched a scheme to help motorists overtake bikes safely and cracking down on those who don't.
You must give a cyclist at least 1.5 metres. If you cannot safely overtake a cyclist, you hang back, you don't tailgate them and put them under any pressure and just wait for a safe place to overtake. What they don't realise is that whilst they're inside their vehicle, that if you pass too close to the cyclist, it could result in putting them off riding forever.
Kieran Derbyshire works as a cycle courier. But one day in May, one driver got a little too close.
All I hear is this exhaust, and then that was it. I just got belted. My head hit the ground first, and the next thing I know, I've come to with people stood over me.
Luckily, Kieran escaped without major injuries, but he's well aware things could have turned out very differently.
My hips hurt, my ankles hurt, my wrists and my back hurt, and I could not walk that well for maybe a couple of days, and I'd just be wobbling around. Probably wasn't until afterwards where it kind of kicked in that I've just been hit by a car, and I'm quite lucky that I've, still around, really.
Keen to cut down on collisions like this, today Greater Manchester Police have come to Sale in Trafford to pick up drivers who aren't obeying the highway code. But in order to catch them, they must take to the streets themselves.
We'll act as a member of the public. We have cameras on the front and rear of our bicycle. We ride in the locations where the complaints have been received, and we will wait for a vehicle to drive close to us.
PCSO Steph Payne is out on her bike, and only minutes into the operation, she encounters her first near miss. A man in a black Ford Focus overtakes, but comes too close for comfort.
Driver, this way! First call fast spot. Do you know how much space you should give a cyclist when you're overtaking them?
For close passing, this man could face 3 points and a fine of £100, but instead, he's happy to accept the free education on offer today.
So just jump out and I'll just show you some visual representation. You've got to give them at least 1.5 metres, all right? What do you think if you can't safely overtake a cyclist, what will happen?
Well, it's not going well for the cyclist.
Exactly.
The driver's learnt his lesson, but more keep coming in. A woman in a red Ford comes dangerously close. She's pulled over.
Park it on there for us a second, please.
Really, she should have hung back and waited till there was a clearing and put her indicator on, but she just decided to squeeze in between me and the vehicle in the second lane.
She's just cameras on the front and rear of the bike and on a uniform, and she's not happy about the way that you passed her. All right. Right. I'm not going to give you a ticket today.
I didn't realise it was that high, but next time I will be thinking and go out a bit further.
Today the team have caught 7 drivers passing too close. But GMP are also encouraging members of the public to send in footage of incidents they've captured themselves, meaning it's now easier than ever for those drivers to be held accountable. Avid cyclist Graham Cooper had a close call whilst riding with his granddaughter on the back. He sent the footage into Greater Manchester Police.
It made me quite angry because if you were driving a car near to your own child, would you drive at 30 miles an hour a foot away from them? I just can't understand that at all.
During his 50 years cycling, he's encountered some bad road users.
There are a small number of drivers who either aren't aware that they should be giving you more space, or in some very rare cases, actually are deliberately aggressive.
But Graham's reassured by the proactive approach the police are now taking.
In this initiative, I've submitted about 14 videos, and I know that some of those are going forward to prosecution. There's confidence that it will actually go somewhere, that somebody who understands the issues, you know that they're actually going to take action.
Officers hope that by reminding motorists how to share the road, they can save lives.
That tarmac that we're driving on is not getting any bigger, it's not getting any wider, and we've all got to respect that road.
We certainly do, and PCSO Gareth Walker, who you saw in the film there, joins me now. Gareth, these near misses are really frightening, aren't they?
They are, Michelle, and whether you're on a horse or a cycle, you've got to make sure you give space to vulnerable road users. It's in the highway code, and you need to do it.
And just last week we actually saw some footage that was submitted by a member of the public. We've got a clip of it now. You can see the cyclist going along and the car just comes so close. That must have been terrifying for the rider.
It must have been, and the scary thing about it is if you see how close that cyclist is from that vehicle, it's millimetres for potential fatal or life-changing road traffic collision. And people don't realise that you must give vulnerable road users space. And as you've seen in the video, we're there to make our roads safer in Greater Manchester.
So how can people get footage like this to you guys?
Well, what you can do is through our Operation Consider It, which is our long-standing vulnerable road policing operation looking at road users, we're able to look at the footage online. So you send us a quick information via the email address which will be on our website, time, date, location, what's actually happened, and whether you're on a horse, a bicycle, or you're driving and you capture a traffic offence, you can send that information to us, we will look at it and we'll send it away for prosecution. The person you've just seen in the clip you just showed will be currently receiving a notice of intended prosecution for driving without due care and attention.
That's fantastic, Gareth. Thank you very much. It's worth mentioning that the scheme that Gareth was talking about there is only for people in Greater Manchester, but there are similar schemes happening in North Wales, West Midlands and Cheshire. And interestingly, Transport for Greater Manchester want 10% of all journeys to be by bike by 2025. They've built 60 kilometres of new cycle lanes in the past 5 years, and they run adult education cycle classes just to increase people's confidence really on the rules of the road and making them feel more comfortable. One of the cycle instructors is here with me now, Lawrence. So what kind of things do you teach people?
To use more of the roads, to make ourselves more visible, to try and encourage drivers to slow down. We do that by putting ourselves further out into the road. It seems counterintuitive, but it works because it makes drivers think about us. Nobody wants to run us down, but sometimes they don't think about us. So we teach cyclists to take possession more and more of the road.
It's important being more visible, isn't it?
Hugely important, and we don't do that by hiding by the pavement.
Yeah. So as you said, it's raising that awareness, and you can see people cycling around us now. It's good to get out there and feeling confident.
We see adult trainees from absolute beginners to professional cyclists almost. It's fabulous to watch.
Lawrence, thank you very much. I'll let you on your way. I better get some practice in myself. Get my helmet on and get going, Ralph.
Thanks, Michelle. Lots more to come this morning, including the footage that could help snare an armed gang. Will you recognise the raiders?
Dashcam, headcam, it's become a big part of policing today, and it's making a massive difference. You can see clearly who's involved.
And the car enthusiast who lost his car and nearly lost his life.
I was in shock, so I was just trying to breathe. I didn't know how bad of an injury it was.
But first, the number of people trespassing on railway tracks has reached an all-time high. More than 8,000 people annually risk their lives on the tracks, with numbers surging during the summer months. I'm joined by Becky Warren. Becky, good morning. Messing around on the railway lines is really a really bad idea, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Basically, trains can go at 125 miles an hour. You've got electricity, whether it's in the overheads or the third rail. They're very dangerous places to be. If you're not on the station or on the train itself, you shouldn't be anywhere near the tracks.
Yeah, to show how dangerous it is, just a few days ago you had some awful news about a youngster losing his life.
That's correct. Just on Tuesday this week, a young person was basically electrocuted, so very, very tragic.
And it's people like you that have to break the news, isn't it? It's one of the jobs that you have to do. You have to do this many times.
Yeah, I've done it over 50 times myself personally, and I don't want to have to do it, or my colleagues have to do that again. But,
okay. Yeah. I mean, we can see just how dangerous it is now with some clips here. What are we seeing here, Becky? We've got someone walking up to a barrier, I can see, and actually it looks like he's lifting a small child over the barrier.
Yeah, so what you've got here is you've got children being lifted over, they're now even lifting a pram over, they're climbing over the barrier themselves. And as the barriers are down, we are expecting a train. That's the whole point of the barriers being down. So they're risking their own lives, and worse, really, they're risking their children's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, the barrier's down for a very good reason. We've got more clips here. We can see people climbing across the tracks. And look, the train is coming along just seconds away. Another one here trying to climb up. And, I mean, this person looks, I don't know if they're intoxicated or what, but look at that. That was so close, that train. And even another one here.
Yeah, I mean, that chap there, I mean, he's lucky to get away with his life there, or he could have lost his limbs. Yeah, really, really dangerous.
I mean, we see that they're dancing with death, but there's also other consequences of doing this as well, on a sort of criminal point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, trespassing on the railway isn't an offence. You can get fined up to £1,000. We're trying to educate people, giving them different things that we do, but they could end up in jail.
Yes, this is what people might not realise. This is actually a criminal offence. They could get a criminal record for trying to save a few seconds. It's just not worth it, is it?
No, it's not at all, and that's what we need to do.
Okay. So, how are you tackling the problem?
So we're increasing patrols, especially over the summer months as more people are out and about. And also we have a programme called Reality Check. So that's basically about getting the campaign out to parents. Do they know where the kids are? Have they talked to them about rail safety? Do the kids know about how dangerous the railway is? And as well as we've got working with Network Rail and having our officers in their control room, so we can really target those hotspots.
Brilliant, Becky. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing that with us. We really need to get that message across. Do not do it. Michelle.
Now, earlier we saw how police forces are moving with the times, using footage sent in from members of the public in order to prosecute people who are committing traffic offences. But detectives would have never imagined the evidence that they got when they appealed to the public for information after a very violent robbery.
In January this year, an armed gang carried out an audacious robbery of over £16,000. Planned to the last detail, there was just one thing the robbers had not reckoned with: the eyes and ears of the public. On Wednesday, 18th of January, a guard arrived at a supermarket in Newton Heath, near Manchester, and began his work collecting cash from the back of the store.
The G4S guard at the time was moving boxes of cash from Asda and loading up empty ones into the building.
But someone else had their eyes on the money. As the guard returned to his van with the loaded cash box, two men sped up on a motorbike. CCTV and body camera footage captured their attack.
The male who ran into the app was very aggressive towards the security guard and threatened to blind it repeatedly with an ammonia solution. Leaving him in no uncertain terms, he could well suffer a serious injury from what he was saying to him.
The cash box the guard handed over contained £16,000. The robber then grabbed two bags holding around £800 and made his escape.
It was very fast the way they made off. It's obviously a high-powered bike. They knew what they were doing and they had a route planned.
And they'd also planned the next stage of their getaway, which involved meeting a third person.
In the Green Lane area of Manchester, they met up with a white van in order to make their escape easier, unnoticed.
The trio tried desperately to open the box, but were spotted by some local builders.
The cash box proved hard to be opened. They were reversing the car and straight against the wall. They did it a number of times, but obviously we were being watched and they were conscious that they were being watched, so they loaded it back into the vehicle and made off.
As the gang headed for the country lanes of Mossley, the van was seen again.
We had a second call from a lady on horseback who was described seeing a white van at speed inappropriate to the road, driving what she thought dangerous. That lady had a head cam on her helmet, which she filmed the van, and you can see it flying up a narrow road, narrowly avoiding a collision with their taxi.
The robbers made one last bid to avoid being caught and abandoned their van, but again they were caught on camera, this time by two passing drivers. One dashcam caught the driver in red leaving the vehicle. The other captured the second robber as he ran away still carrying the cash and followed him as he fled into a nearby field. Suspicious of what he'd seen, this driver followed the robber into the car park of a nearby pub.
The last sighting was coming across the bottom of the field, and he's clearly hops over a fence and inadvertently looks towards the vehicle, the dash cam, and you see him then carrying the cash bags, crosses the path of the vehicle and then out of view. So many people on that route on that day have got cameras with them, which it's unlucky for them, but it's great for us.
Police later found the motorbike and the van used in the robbery. Both were burnt out. But using the footage, they were able to recover the cash box containing the 16 grand, which had been hidden in the bushes. They were also able to track down the van driver, who was later arrested. Craig Pearson admitted his part in the robbery and was jailed for 7 years and 3 months after failing to give police any information about the other suspects. Detectives are determined to catch the rest of the gang, the driver of the motorbike and the man on the back who robbed the G4S guard. He is believed to be the same suspect later seen running across the field with the cash bags.
The dash camera that we've recovered is a very clear image of the male responsible for squirting the ammonia and making off carrying the bags. It's great footage, and I believe that somebody out there must know who he is. Dash cam, head cam of horse riders, it's become a big part of policing today, and it's making a massive difference. It's absolutely brilliant. You can see clearly who's involved.
And I'm joined now by DC Phil Kane, who's investigating this dramatic robbery. Phil, just remind us exactly where this happened.
It occurred at Old Church Street in Newneath. From the footage we've got from dash cam and head cam of members of the public, we can clearly see the route that the gang have taken to where the car was abandoned on Broad Moss Lane in Mosley.
I mean, the CCTV is amazing, isn't it? We're going to have a look at it again. We've got some very clear images of one of these suspects. This is the guy with the cash bags. And Phil, you're really hoping today that someone watching can identify them.
Yeah, he's a white male. He's around 6 foot tall, slim build, dark hair. We're hoping that some members of the public can recognise him. He's the male we believe is responsible for squirting the ammonia into his face, and he got off from the area on the motorbike, and he's seen running with the cash bags in Mosley.
You can hear his voice on the body camera as well, can't you?
You can. Hopefully somebody will be able to put the voice and the face together, and obviously call the police and let them know who he is.
And finally, you want to identify the motorbike rider.
Yeah, we've got very little information on the motorbike rider, so if anybody recognises him, then call the police and let us know. That'd be brilliant.
Phil, thank you very much. As Phil just said there, if you do have any information, if you recognise these suspects, please get in contact with us using the numbers on your screen.
Thanks, Michelle. Now, moving home should be an exciting time, but for many, it can turn into a harrowing experience as prospective tenants are targeted by fraudsters. It's estimated that over £1 million is lost to fake landlords each week. I'm joined by DI Mick Dodge from the City of London Police, who's back again, and David Mundy, who was the victim of a property scam himself. Good morning to you both. David, I'll start with you. What happened in your situation?
So I saw an ad online, and I went and viewed the property with who I thought was the landlord. Unfortunately, it all...
So you paid a deposit, because you found this ad, you were a student at the time, you didn't have unlimited funds, you paid £1,000 for a deposit, which seemed okay at the time, but then when did it go wrong?
So when I was supposed to move in, the landlord sent me a message saying before I could get the keys, I had to pay him an extra month's rent. And when I refused, he cut off communication with me. Okay. And I later found out he was an ex-tenant who had kept the key.
So it's just someone who kept the key, he wasn't a landlord at all?
Yeah.
So he's had your £1,000, he tried to get another one, complete and utter scammer. Okay. Mick, you've unfortunately seen this sort of thing happen before though, haven't you, this type of scam?
Absolutely, it happens sort of more than you'd think.
How does it work?
Well, typically, we call it advanced fee fraud. They're trying to get money up front from you for goods or services, or in this case, a property. When in reality, the property doesn't exist, it's been rented out to somebody else, it's been rented out sometimes to loads of other people, or like in your case, David, the landlord, who thinks the landlord, is just a complete imposter. And sadly, they target students because they know there's going to be a lot of people after the property, there are time pressures and there's a lot of demand in the market.
Yeah, they've got to be in by a certain time, they don't have the choice to look around for other places, so they take what's on offer. So what can people do to avoid being in this situation themselves then?
So it can be tricky, but you've got to, one of the most important things is to be as certain as you can that the person you're dealing with is the genuine landlord. Look at documents, get a tenancy agreement, look for the gas safety certificate. If you're a student, speak to your university because they'll be able to give you some advice and guidance.
Actually transferring the funds as well is an important way that you want to see it.
When it comes to paying, never pay in cash. be sceptical if you're asked to do a money transfer service.
Because that could be the same as cash.
Exactly.
So what would you suggest?
Always put money into a bank account, either do an electric bank transfer into a bank account or walk into the branch if you've got cash and put the cash across the counter.
Okay, great advice, Mick. Thank you. David, and to combat this type of thing, you actually set up an online system to help avoid it in the future.
Yeah, so I set up Rent Profile, which is the first UK's landlord checking service, where landlords can sign up for free. We then background check them. They add it to a directory, which then renters can search and check the landlord really is who they say they are.
Brilliant. So you've certainly made a negative situation into a positive one, so well done on that. And Mick, you're going to be back with us next week with more crime advice, and we're going to put details on our website about that landlord verification service. Michelle.
Next, detectives need your help to name the car thief who mowed down the very man whose motor he'd just stolen.
.28-year-old Abu Satya lives in Blackburn and runs the family business, a travel agency.
I live with my mum, my wife, my brothers and my sister. My dad is no longer alive, so the responsibility is on my head for looking after my mum.
But when he's not working, he focuses on his passion for cars.
I've always liked my cars. The car I've always wanted is a BMW M5, but my wife wouldn't let me buy it. At the moment, I've got a BMW 335i. It's on a 62 plate. It's a very rare model and spec.
In March this year, Abu was having some problems with his car, so he called in to see his friend Feros, who runs a tyre garage in Blackburn.
Abu brought his car to us because he had an overheating problem on it. So he left his car running outside to show one of the staff members, and the car's overheating.
But while Abu was inside, he didn't realise an opportunistic thief was eyeing up his most prized possession. CCTV shows the moment that a man wearing a high-vis jacket walked up to the car and got in. With the engine already running, he reversed at speed and the alarm was raised.
You heard one of his staff shouting when he looked at the camera. That's when he realised that someone's got into the car and got to reverse.
Instinctively, Abu and the garage staff raced across the forecourt.
I just ran outside. I don't think I was thinking much at that time. I just wanted to get my car back.
Abu tried to stop him.
I went into the driver's side and tried switching off the car and tried to get him out of the car at the same time.
But the man was not so easily thwarted.
I had to just try to get him out of the car, so I had my arms around his neck, trying to lift him off the seat.
Despite a brave attempt to stop him, the thief accelerated, dragging Abu along the road and crushing his legs beneath the car's wheels.
When he drove off, I've scraped the road, the tarmac.
Abu was left seriously injured, bleeding in the road. His friends could only watch, horrified.
I'm seeing blood everywhere. Abu's leg is literally torn to bits. I really didn't know what to do.
I was in shock, so I was just trying to breathe. I didn't know how bad of an injury it was.
Abu's leg was torn open and he was rapidly losing blood.
It's only once the paramedics called me into the ambulance, only then I realised what had happened to it.
Luckily, surgeons were able to save Abu's leg, but his injuries mean he is still unable to run the family business.
It has affected me quite a bit, both mentally and physically. I'm struggling to get about, can't drive, can't walk for too long. Every time I put my head down trying to go to sleep, I just get flashbacks of what's happened.
The car was found dumped in the Farnworth area of Bolton. For Abu, recovery has been slow and frustrating.
Every time I try getting into a car, I have to look behind me to make sure there's no one there. I don't think I'd be able to forget what's happened. It's more or less my whole life that's been changed.
It is just horrendous, and with me now to talk more about this police investigation is Detective Inspector Tim Brown from Lancashire Constabulary. Now Tim, if we have a look at this CCTV, I mean the thief was just so brazen. This happened in broad daylight under their noses.
Absolutely. It's plain to see from the footage that, as you say, it was brazen, extremely callous also. The person responsible for this has committed the act in the middle of the day on a busy high street. It was only within a few metres of the people working at the premises there. And again, from the footage, you can see that the reckless driving, he's had complete disregard for the people surrounding the vehicle.
Now, luckily, you were able to track down the car fairly quickly after this incident.
That's right. We had some fantastic assistance from Abu, his family and his friends, and the use of social media. It's unclear exactly as to why the car was abandoned, but it was, and we managed to recover it for him.
At the same time, it's small comfort really for Abu, isn't it? I mean, talk me through the extent of his injuries.
Yeah, absolutely small comfort. Abu received injuries to both his arm and his leg, most significantly to his leg. I'm told he's had a number of surgeries to try and make that right, but the reality is, both psychologically and physically, he probably won't be right.
And you did mention the CCTV is really, really clear. I mean, Tim, someone must know who this car thief is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the appeal from me today is that we hear from anybody who can give us any information that would assist the investigation, but the most simple part of the appeal is simply, who is that person in the footage? There's clear footage, there's clear stills there. Please come forward and name that person.
Tim, thank you very much. As you heard there, if this is someone that you recognise, take a look at the footage. If you can identify them, please make sure you get in contact with us. We'll be standing by for your calls. The numbers are on your screen. We've also got our text message number and an email address.
Now it's time for a look at today's Wanted Faces. First up is this man. This is Anthony Rosen. Although you may know him as Junior, he was jailed for 4 years for attempted burglary and then released on licence, but he's failed to stick to the conditions of his release and he's now wanted back in prison. He has links to Liverpool and Manchester and a tattoo of his name, Tony, on his right arm. Next is Martin Catcher. He was arrested in connection with the supply of Class A drugs and the recovery of almost £55,000 in cash. He was released on bail but has failed to return. Originally from Albania, the 28-year-old now has links to the West Midlands, Derbyshire and Northamptonshire. He has a tattoo of barbed wire on his right forearm. Third is Philip John Maddox. Police would like to question him in connection to an assault on a woman and also the breach of a restraining order. Maddox is 47 and has a Liverpudlian accent. He has links across the city but could now be in Ireland. And finally for today, this is Mark John Owens. Detectives would like to question him in connection with a conspiracy to supply a large quantity of cannabis. The 56-year-old has an Essex accent and links across the county. So if you know where any of these faces are, make sure you get in touch using the numbers on screen.
Next, the violent attack on a taxi driver who was just going about his daily work. Sergeant Adi Knowles from Lancashire Constabulary is with me. Adi, talk me through what happened.
The suspect was picked up from Lancaster City Centre and taken to Car Lane in Middleton and Evesham about 5:24 a.m. in the morning on March the 12th of this year. He's paid for the fare and he's got out of the taxi and then approached the passenger side window, entered into an argument disputing the fare and demanding his money back, and he was very aggressive in his behaviour towards the taxi driver.
And the whole thing was caught on camera, wasn't it?
It was indeed. The Mr Sadiq, the taxi driver, had a dash cam which was capturing the whole incident and with sound as well.
Well, we've actually got a clip, so let's quickly take a look at what happened.
Give me my money. No, you can't have money. Eh? You fancy talking, yeah?
I mean, it was just a really aggressive encounter, wasn't it?
It was. From the minute he got out of the taxi, he became very verbally aggressive. He's reached in, caused damage to the top of the taxi, believing that to be the CCTV footage. Then he's launched into a vicious attack, yes.
And of course, that's when the actual assault happened, but we can't actually show the footage because it's just too violent. But talk us through what happened, Adi.
After he's caused the damage to the taxi, he's just then started throwing punches at Mr Sadiq, and he's tried his very best to defend himself.
Let's just take another look at the image of him. Remind us what offences this person is suspected of.
The offences we're looking at are certainly assault and criminal damage. The missing piece is that we just need a name for the chap involved.
How was the drive after all of this? I mean, it's such an ordeal to have to go through. When you're just going about your daily work, it's not the type of thing that you expect, is it?
No, certainly not. He did receive some bruising to his face, his glasses were damaged, and he was certainly shooken up by the events that occurred.
And as you say, Adi, you're appealing for any information at all today on this case.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. If from looking at that footage, you can identify the person. This has had a real effect on the taxi driver. As we were just saying there, it's not something you expect ever to happen. Please do get in touch with us if you can help with this case. Sergeant AD is really looking to solve this one. Raf.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, hopefully someone can name him. Time now for a quick update now, and lots of you calling in after Tuesday's appeal to find those responsible for the shooting of 2 cats with an air rifle in Lancashire. Remember, the cats were left with serious injuries, and the RSPCA is now looking into all of your calls. Do keep those coming in. And some good news for you, because we've had yet another arrest on one of our wanted faces as a direct result of your calls. Great stuff. Please do keep them coming. Michelle, tell us, where are you tomorrow?
Well, Ralph, we're going to be ending the week in Liverpool, and we're going to be asking for the public's help to identify an armed gang who punched an 8-year-old girl. Also, as a first for me, we're going to be at one of the UK's only floating fire stations. I might as well catch the bus, mightn't I? See ya.
Thanks, Michelle. For more details about the crimes on today's programme, go to our website. But before we go, here's another look at this morning's wanted faces. There you go. If any of them look familiar, then pick up the phone and tell us where they are. We'll be back tomorrow morning, but until then, do take care. Bye-bye.
Like I'd just been pinned to my chair. It was just pain radiating to every part of my body.
And I'm getting in the saddle, finding out how police are keeping cyclists safe on Manchester's roads.
You're watching Crimewatch Roadshow. Hello and welcome to Crimewatch Roadshow. As always, we need your help to solve the crimes happening where you live. Also today,
The opportunist thief who ran a man down with his own car.
Once the paramedics got to the location and put me in the ambulance, that's when I realised what had happened.
And caught on camera, the armed gang that made off with over 16 grand.
So many people on that route on that day. I've got cameras with them. It's unlucky for them, but it's great for us.
Today, Michelle is back in Manchester. What are you up to this morning?
Yeah, we're at the Museum of Transport this morning, Ralph, which is quite apt really, as today we are looking at everything on the move, crime on the move, and later we're going to be out and about with police officers who take to 2 wheels themselves to try and catch the drivers who are putting cyclists at risk.
Thanks, Michelle. Now to our first appeal, and for a tram driver whose day at work very nearly killed him.
Manchester's Metrolink is now the largest light railway in the UK. It covers almost 60 miles with a fleet of close to 100 trams. And driver Sean Vella has been operating Metrolink trams for 2 years.
The main thing I enjoy about it is the challenge of driving a tram and driving it around the city and actually helping Manchester as a whole. Manchester born and bred. The driving the tram, the challenges are maintaining levels of concentration, maintaining the safety of the passengers. I personally feel it's the best job I've ever done. I enjoy it. I look forward to coming into work. Not many people can say that they look forward to coming into their job in the morning.
On May 8th, Sean was working from mid-afternoon and was due to finish soon after midnight.
I was just plodding on, doing what I was doing. It really was just a run-of-the-mill day where I was just getting on, doing my job. Going on, enjoying my break, had a little chat and laugh with the guys that I work with.
By around 9:30 p.m, the end of his shift was in sight.
I was heading to Rochdale for the second time of the day.
The tram left the Durker stop and neared a footbridge which ran over the tracks.
It was dark, it was just past twilight, so it was very, very dark. Hit 50 miles an hour. I didn't actually see anything happen. Just a white flash of the glass exploding out of the windscreen. Every thought in my head escaped my body, really. It was literally the biggest shock I've had in my life.
Shattered glass flew into Sean's face.
The glass went everywhere in the cab. It hit my face.
The huge chunk of stone slammed into the cab and hit Sean in the torso.
I saw a hole in the windscreen and I knew the pain in my chest. I felt like I'd just been pinned to my chair with the impact, and it was just pain radiating to every part of my body.
Adrenaline and training kicked in as Sean activated the driver's safety device to stop the tram and raise the alarm.
The last thing I remember was landing in the glass and hearing the alarm of the driver safety device activating.
Sean blacked out. A short time later, he came to.
And there was passengers banging on the cab door.
Using all his strength, Sean managed to reach the handle to let passengers in. With help, Sean was able to drive the tram to the next station, where an ambulance was waiting.
The driver could have been killed if that slab had hit him on the head. The tram could have derailed. You know, anything could have happened, really.
Miraculously, Sean suffered no major injuries in this reckless act.
I'd had an impact trauma to my chest and lots of cuts, small, tiny cuts all over my face. Could have been worse. If that rock was 12 inches higher, it would have been impacting my face. It would have been a totally different story. It's very lucky escape.
Although his recovery is going well, Sean is still getting over the trauma caused by the crash.
Physically, I feel beaten. I'm just constantly sore, not sleeping well. Psychologically, it's quite a lot of fear. Just nervousness, general nervousness, certain things I don't feel ready to do yet. I don't feel comfortable going into a tram cab at the moment in time. This person who's injured me is taking a choice out of my life.
It's just shocking, isn't it? And Inspector Cecilia Oakley from Greater Manchester Police's Travel Safe Unit joins me now. We saw in the film there just what a frightening experience it must have been for Sean. Not only that, it could have been a lot worse, couldn't it?
Absolutely. When you look at the size of the slab that's gone through the window and the height that it was thrown from, potentially it could have hit him on the head and caused serious injuries or the fatality. You know, and whoever did this, you know, they're probably not aware of the consequences and the seriousness of the offence.
That's it, and as you said, it's lucky that he was wearing glasses.
Yeah, he did have glasses on, so when the window smashed, his eyes were protected, you know, from the shards of glass from the window.
Where exactly did this happen, Cecilia?
It happened at Durka in Oldham, over the top of the footbridge, which is in a quiet area of Oldham. Plenty of stones around, you know, and children play in that area as well.
Now, on the positive side, there have been proactive steps that have been put in place to make our trams and buses safer.
Yes, in the aftermath of the incident, there was high visibility patrols in the area, and since then we've recruited up to 50 PCSOs on the Travel Safe Unit, and they'll be doing proactive work on trams and buses, reassurance, and dealing with any incidents of antisocial behaviour on the trams and buses.
That is really good to hear. Cecilia, thank you very much. If you do have any information on this case, you know what to do. You can get in touch with us using the numbers on your screen.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, it really was a reckless thing to do. And a reminder that victims of any crime can speak to victim support. They're on 0808 16 89 111. Next up, do you recognise any of today's criminals caught on CCTV? And just so you know, these are pretty serious.
It's mid-morning on this busy street in Luton. Pay close attention to this bloke getting out of the parked car in the right-hand corner of the screen. He hangs around for quite some time, but what's he waiting for? A while later, a dark-coloured vehicle pulls up and a man gets out. The bloke waiting spots him and makes sure he catches his attention before heading over to engage him in conversation. All seems friendly, but out of nowhere, the bloke throws a